All right. So if everybody look back up, please. We've just rolled 2 balls of clay that are pretty much equal in size. They can be off a little bit. And now I'm going to do 2 pinch pots. Again, I'm going to start. So this is a recap here, what we just did. I'm going to do it twice. I'm rotating this ball of clay over my thumb like this. If I feel any high spots, I make sure I tend to that area. And I have to stop when I'm about a pinky width or a thumb width even. Okay, so I can't make this, there is a limit to clay. If you make it too thin, it becomes weak. If you work it too much, or if you take too long to make a project, the clay will dry out and will become less plastic and you won't be able to model it. All right, so I got this one done. My clay is that thick. That's about a finger's width, and it's like that everywhere, okay? It's pretty symmetrical on the top. All right, I'm going to set that down and rest that. Now I'm going to pick up my other ball of clay, and I'm going to do the same thing. All right, so now I got this one done. Again, it's about the same width, okay? I'm going to set that upside down for a minute. I'm going to give you guys just a second here. All right, now we got these 2 that are the same size. Because I started with the same amount of clay, right, I was able to make pinch pots that are the same size. If everybody looks up, watch this right here. They fit together really nicely. All right, so they have the same size opening. So it's because I made sure I was starting with similar sizes of clay. So they're going to match together. So when I say we're going to make a closed form, this is what I mean. All right, this is going to serve 2 points here. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a closed form, and I'm also going to teach you how to score, slip, press, knit. Okay, this is really important. If I want these to stick together, I cannot just push them. If I push them, they will stick now. If everybody notices, they are sticking for a moment, but that was the water sticking because they were sticky. The moment the water evaporates, so will the bond. Okay, we don't want a water bond, we want a physical bond. So to make that physical bond, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to score the entire surface where they're going to touch. So I'm scoring the surface of the clay. All right, so it looks like that. And notice I scored in all different directions. I did not just go in one area. I scored all over the place. Now I'm going to take the other piece and I'm going to score it. All right, so check it out. Both of them are scored. All right, now you guys are smart. You can put 2 and 2 together. We got this bucket of slip here. I'm going to take some of the thicker stuff and I'm going to put it on top. So I scored. Now I'm slipping. I only have to put it on one side. My slip is in nice shape, but it's a little thinner than I'm used to. So if your slip is a little thicker than mine, that's probably better. All right, so I scored both sides, then I slipped one. Now I'm going to press. Score, slip, press. So I lined them up. I'm pressing. Now when I press, I'm also going to give a little twist. I want all those score marks to lock in together and make a physical bond. All right, score, slip, press, and the last word is knit. To knit, we could use the wooden tool, we could use this back part right here, but I'm going to go ahead and use the tip of the knife. And to knit basically means blend. So I am knitting or blending one side to the other. At this point, I am making a physical bond. I am bonding this clay together. So I'm taking the side that's closest to you guys and I'm pulling it over. Now I'm going to do the same thing going the other way because I want both sides to be bonded. Okay. Now I've knitted that. Now I have a solid ball. Now I'm going to go along. I'm going to get rid of those marks. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. you should know at this point why it's called a closed form. It contains air. So it's kind of a shock absorber almost, if you think about it that way. And because it has air in it, we can, after it firms up a little bit, we can change the shape by paddling it. So if you guys look, I'm paddling my clay, changing the shape. I'm turning it into a little bit of a cylinder or an egg shape. If you see the seam come back, just rub your fingers over it. You can notice because there's air in it, you can kind of really change the shape and it won't flatten on you. I can use the table. I could use a spoon to paddle. Okay, so what I have here, and notice when I put it down kind of hard so that I got a flat base, okay? So let's say now I need a foot on this one. I'm gonna take a little bit more clay right here. I'm gonna roll it between my fingers. I'm gonna put it down so I got like a rope shape, and I'm just rolling a little coil. All right. So over here, we pinched a foot. Now over here, let's add a foot. So once again, if I want to add this clay, I need to score, slip, press, knit. So I scored that side. And I'm going to score this side. Scoring is basically roughing up the surface of the clay. I'm going to add a little slip. Sometimes in elementary and middle school, they don't actually make slip, but they use water and they just spray the surface of the clay. That works, but it does not work as well. This will give us a much better bond. All right, so now I've scored the bottom of that. Now I'm going to take the coil. And I'm just arranging it where I want it. Right there where it overlaps. I'm going to take my knife. Cut it so that they meet. All right. So I scored, I slipped. Now I'm pressing. Give it a little twist when I do that. And now I'm going to take this tool with this flat edge and I'm going to knit the inside. I'm using the smaller tool this time to make this physical bond just because it's a more detailed area. There you go. So you can see how I blended all the way around there. Now I could take another tool and the end of the spoon to clean that up. The outside is a little messy from all that slip. I could take a paper towel and kind of clean up some of the excess slip. Now we do not need to blend the outside as well. We do not need to blend the outside as well because we blended the inside. So we scored, slipped, pressed, and knit it. Now what I have here, if you look, it's a pretty cool container. Well, it's not a container yet because we can't get into it. But I have the base that I have the foot that I added, right? And then I have the form and it's hollow. Now from here, we could cut this open and create the lid. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to warn you because I would normally say let this sit a day and then cut it open because it's kind of soft right now. So I'm going to take the knife, I'm going to go at an angle, and that way the lid will be fitted and beveled. So I'm going in at an angle, and I'm trying to keep the knife the same height from the table, and I'm turning the pot. And you can see it's still sticky, and that's what I was saying, I'd let it firm up. So now what I've made is a lidded container. All right, the lid fits in, and we have the base. So we have a foot, we have the body of the pot, we have a fitted lid. It fits because it locks in. Another requirement to the project that we're getting ready to do here is that it has a pull. A pull is how we raise and lower the handle. So to do a pull, I could do lots of things. I could take a little ball of clay and I could add it like that and put it on. I could turn this into a leaf. So if I pinch it, make it a leaf shape. Sorry about that. Leaf shape, such as that. That's kind of cool looking, right? It looks like a little leaf or a little flame. Another thing I can do is I'm going to roll a coil just like I did for the foot. And I'm going to taper this coil to the ends so that it's kind of like, I don't know, like a long drawn out football of some sort. And I'm going to go like this now. I'm bending the top. And I'm going to go like this. I could do some type of pull like that. Oh, that's pretty. Looks like hair. Looks like a 1950s version of a cartoon mom's hair. Okay, so, but if I want it to stick, you guys should know this by now, I have to score, slip, press, and knit. So I'm going to raise the lid. I'm going to score. I'm going to score. Rough it up. Got to rough it up here too. Good. Now I'm going to add slip and slip, and then I'm going to press. Score, slip, press, and the last part is to knit. So to knit, I'm going to blend those pieces together. So what I've been doing here, there we go. All right. So I've made a lidded container over here that still needs texture. All right. So this doesn't meet all the requirements yet. So we would have to put texture on it of some sort. So if I take this, I could put lines in it. So I'm just kind of pushing and then I pull. And I am totally doing this blind by looking at the computer, so I'm not sure what's happening. So that's one type of texture I could do all the way around the pot. That's pretty cool. Another thing, people do amazing things. You guys saw those pictures. Imagine how I could, is she in, Lexi, are you in this class? I think Lexi's in my second hour. A student, Lexi, she's in my homeroom. She, for her pre-assessment one, she put like flowers and petals. It was really pretty. So you could add clay to this. All right, so we're recapping a lot of things here now. To recap everything we've done, we pinched a pot, and then we pinched a foot, and then we pinched a lip, and then we added some texture to it. All right, a little messy still. Over here, we made a closed form in which we made 2 equal-sized pinch pots, put them together, and then we scored, slipped, and pressed and knitted a coil along the bottom for a foot. All right, then we cut a hole out of the top at a beveled angle so that the lid will fit in. Then we scored, slipped, and pressed and knitted a pull on it and started to add some texture of some kind.